speaking of old Legos, since we were indeed speaking of them, I was just reading a thread on Facebook, one of the groups I belong to, and Gary had to get involved because they're talking about street signs, old street signs, and Gary Istock. He's part of the Vintage Lego group on Facebook, and the guy's just a complete wealth of information, straight up. I've known him for a very, very long time. I ordered his CD way back when CDs were important, of his over 4,000, just loads of information about the various sets released over the decades that the Lego company's been around. But anyway, he was talking about some street signs. Somebody was asking whether or not a street sign was Lego or not, and he says no, because he would know. But I started thinking about it, and there's a couple other people have posted recently showing their builds, their mocks, using old trees. So these are not the oldest trees that Lego ever put out, but they are the trees that I grew up with. And when I was a kid, these are called the Cypress Trees, and they're very much coveted. And I only have two. I had more when I was a kid. I just didn't think about it, and they probably got munched or destroyed, but I don't think they survived into my adulthood. These are the only two that I actually have that survived into my adulthood. So I kind of regret that now because I know how much they're worth. Look them up on Bricklink, Cypress Trees. I have two. I have a million of these though, an absolute, just like lots of them. Now some are soft plastic, and some are hard plastic. Some are my originals and some are newer. The softer ones I think are newer. It's little pine trees, and then the fruit trees, they came out as well. They all basically have the same bottom, so they can go on base plates. And then even in here I have the little mini trees, which I think still come in sets to this day. So this is my one bin of 70s era type trees, and some of them I had since I was a kid, and some I got in lots, and even I think there was the mini ones I got from some of the mini pine trees I got from the pick-a-brick wall at one point, but not a lot, just enough to keep me happy. If I ever do get back into doing town and stuff like that, train layout, I'm gonna have these trees. But then I have this lot here, so I'll just really quick. These are the shrubs that came in the underwater aquazone sets and whatever. I mean, there's nothing to talk about here. I just have a bunch. But these trees are, I remember when I was very young, there was trees that had basically pieces of squares that were melted together, fused together to make trees, and they had basically the same base as these guys. But these predate even those, and so basically these would just sit on, like there's nothing to hold them. They would just sit there, right? And there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's 2 or 3 different styles. There's like a bush, and then these trees. So I got these. I remember very young I had a few of these, but they did not last into my adulthood. But acquiring Lego over the years, I got more of these back, and I said, hey, I'm going to keep those. But then I got one set. Get these out of here. I got this one set here, and I think I just got this like a dozen years ago, where they're the same trees, but they have this on the bottom, and so therefore they can. I should have been ready for this. Just grab a base plate. They can connect to a base plate and stay there. So a little better than the originals. And again, they came in the same flavor. They have the little shrubs, and they have the actual pine tree. So you can make a pretty big forest. Pretty neat. I mean, they are 100% two-dimensional, unlike these guys, which, you know, do look better being more round. But these look more real from one angle than these guys. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. Glad I have them. I don't obviously use them in hardly anything. It's been a long time since I did any kind of landscaping on any kind of layout. I haven't done a train layout in forever, since RTL Toronto did train layouts way back in the day. And I'm not interested in doing town right now. I'm kind of stuck in space. So, but I do have these things just in case someday I decided to get back into it. And glad I have them. And, you know, they don't say Lego on them anywhere. It's kind of sad. But they are Lego. And I believe, and Gary would always be able to correct me if I'm wrong, 60s trees. Whereas these are 70s trees. 70s to now. So that's all the greenery I can want to show right now. The rest of my greenery is all flowers and palm trees. I have, well, let's get into that for a sec. I have, lift this thing up. I have just a bin of palm trees and various colors that either the Lego company put out or third parties have done. I actually collect them, and the white ones too from the snow. So there's the regular green that came out first, and then there's the light green, and then the palm leaves too. Oops, I'm down here. So palm leaves, and then the regular green that came out first, the big one and the small one, and then off colors so you can make fall and stuff, and even third-party stuff. You go to brick conventions and you get a bag of, I didn't throw those up because they're basically the same, but these are Lego, and I got some non-Lego in here. This is Lego as well, I believe. Yeah, white. But I think I got some non-Lego branches in here when they started making third-party. Hard to find. They're in here. But anyway, so this is my palm tree bin. And even the gray ones, which are not part of the palm trees, but I keep them in here because they're the same as these. Just to keep them in one spot. So that's that. Let's see, what else do I got? I got, all my flowers and stems. So this is going to be fun. Let's go for the old ones first. This is my bin of stems. They still sort of make these. So this is original, the 3 flowers that you put on top. And then I went to a brick wall and they bought a bunch of these, and I keep them in here. So this is original from when I was a kid. And even this one is a 3-prong, so you can make like trees and stuff, or big shrubs. And then I just have a bin for the flowers themselves. This whole thing is just flowers. And original flowers on the sprue, as well as even the new modern day ones like these guys that you get in sets these days, but they still fit on here. So if you wanted to reuse the old flower stems with these guys, you can. See, it works. And then you can just use that with old flowers as well. You mix and match. So you get, you know, you can do various things with them. So I keep all, and even the stars. I think I got some stars in here that had that little pinhole in the top. Yeah, they're there. So there's some stars down there. I didn't know where else to keep them. I mean, even the sometimes used for fancy chair legs, the 4-leaf thing, if you want to call it. They also fit onto these little branches and stuff. So that's why I keep them in here. So this whole bin is just the flowers, stars, whatever else, even the newer flowers that fit on top of these stems. So this is just a whole bin of those things that fit on top of the stems. And yes, I did. I think I got most of these that are still on the sprue from the Pick a Brick Wall in Florida at Disney. We went to Disney 11 years ago. 12 years ago, Sandy was pregnant with Josh. So Josh has been to Disney World, but he doesn't remember it, obviously. But I went to the Pick a Brick Wall a few times, and they had these things. So I grabbed just the handfuls. A really quick thing, when we went to Disney, we flew down, obviously, from Ontario. We had to buy another luggage bag on the way home because one luggage bag was filled with Lego that I bought because we were there for a week at Disney, and every day I went to the Lego store. I was so happy that we had to buy another piece of luggage to come home that was just Lego. So there's that one. Then this guy here is just these guys here. So I won't say juniorized flowers, but you know, these kind of but they're all in here. I got lots of them. And then I decided to put these guys in here too, because I didn't know where else to put them. They're kind of flowery. So they're in here to kind of brick built flowers. Over here was these desert plants or whatever, that even underwater aqua plants. These things, stuff. Again, I don't use too much at all, really, honestly, right now. I might get back into some townscaping, but right now all these things are in here. And then there's this guy that is just the leaves. So some are broken. Obviously, this is supposed to have 3. But it doesn't. There's one that's all together. There's 3, and then these big leaves too. Again, just acquisitions over the years. Like a half a bin of those. And then we get into these new fancy leaves. These new fancy leaves that I actually like using. And what I've done, and I'm sure everybody else has done too, is that you get something like that, and you can build a flower on top of this stem, and then you can put it on top of here, and it actually works when it's together. Hey, don't embarrass me in front of the camera. So you can have a leaf on there. I think that's kind of cool. And that's what I did my whole thing with the building various shrubbery. This thing is not coming apart now. Hold this down for a second. I haven't looked at this thing in forever. Back when I thought I was going to get back into building town stuff and doing various things, I just decided to try to build some shrubbery. And so here's those stems. Oops. Here's, focus on that, not my hand. Here's some stems with the flower holding on to the stems and the leaf holding on to the flower. And I even did it with the original flowers here. Shrubs, like there's a lilac bush or whatever. This is just a big shrub over here. This was fun. And again, I probably was inspired, guaranteed. I can almost guarantee it. I was inspired by people on the internet doing this already by using the 1x1 bricks that have studs on all sides, and to make these kind of things, because then you can just have these guys pointing in every direction, and then just covering it with flowers and leaves, and it looks like a nice shrub. So so I tried my hand at it. I'm not good at it, but these will do for now. I'm glad I did it. I keep this here. It's the only greenery, quote unquote greenery, that I have. So when you're lost in space as much as I am, nice to ground yourself every once in a while. I remember when we were doing the terrain layouts that I had a nice little campsite with hills and stuff. And this has just been just full of carrots and carrot stems. That's all it is. The various colors of carrot stems and carrots, one color of carrots, but from Minecraft or whatever else. And again, pick-a-brick walls, because I don't think I would have that many carrots from just whatever, but I had to fill up pick-a-brick containers. So I just dumped carrots and carrot stems into there overall. So that's my entire collection of, greenery is right here. Happy with it. It works for me. I might get back into building stuff for shows if I actually get back into, there we go. So that's all my greenery right there. And it's as sorted as I wanted to sort it, because again, I don't use it too much. But when I do, I know I have it. So I was inspired to make this video just by reading Gary's posts and appreciating the old style stuff that I have, and I just put everything else out there too. And it's not at all like the tree that came in Winnie the Pooh, because that's just a gorgeous tree. And I don't have any of those pieces that are in here, the coral pieces that are now in green, to do that kind of stuff yet. That's just, I'm so impressed by that tree. But that's another story. So you guys all take care. I decided to make this video a really quick video, but it's already 15 minutes. And just giving you what I have in my Lego collection that has anything to do with greenery, green space. I will talk to you guys soon. Everybody stay safe, wear a mask, get your shots, and I will talk to you soon.